I'm very demanding, and I think Coach is demanding, but his demanding was in a different way. I mean, he was a little older, obviously a lot more polished, and had the understanding that they looked at him as like a granddad. We call him Silver Fox. Me, they looking like the crazy uncle, if you will. So I just think the perspective is different. I think there's a different level of energy that's there, but I think obviously the goal is the same. So how you get to that goal, and in the first team meeting, get to understand I'm not Coach, and Coach is not me. Obviously, he's done a fantastic job, and that's why we're here, and that's why this program is the way it is right now. But understand that there's a new leadership, and with that being said, we're going to do things a little differently. We don't have to remake anything or redo anything. We just has to enhance what we already have.
After 12 years as one of the nation's top assistant track coaches, Chris Johnson finally has the reins of the Arkansas women's program.
Work down!
Not even a year in, and he's already won a national championship as head coach.
This year's national championship to the University of Arkansas Razorbacks.
The quick success is well earned, but it's been in the making for years.
And when you're replacing a legend, if you will, everyone has that same expectation for you.
Way to keep that tradition going.
Sitting behind a legend like 7-time national champion coach Lance Harter teaches you a thing or two about running a dominant program.
For me, fortunate enough, I worked for Coach, and I was here and understood how he ran his program. But being here and being a part of it kind of gave me an inside look at how things were ran and what was great about it, certain things that I would like to change about it.
But Johnson's stamp was all over the program even before taking over. He's done it all as a track coach, trained national champions,
Way to execute that thing.
mentored collegiate and world record breakers,
Oh my goodness! She obliterates the collegiate and American record.
and coached his athletes to Olympic gold.
It's the Olympic gold medal. It's the USA all the way.
With all his success, it's no surprise he's picking up right where Coach Harter left off. People say never follow a legend, but Chris Johnson is proving that to be a myth. Coach, congratulations on
Thanks, I appreciate
your first national championship as a head coach. Does it feel like it took forever to get there?
Well, I think it took longer to be a
It took
head
a
coach
minute.
than
That's
to win a
right.
national championship. So, I mean, we're here, man, and I think it's been a phenomenal experience. Obviously, first year being here and even having the ability to win the SEC meet and then being fortunate enough to win the national meet. It's been a whirlwind of excitement, stress, all those emotions kind of bottled up, and we're here now. So
When Coach Harter retired, what were your thoughts on becoming the head coach here? Because everybody says, "Well, oh man, don't be the guy that replaces the guy."
well, I've heard that, and I think a bit of that's true, because obviously when you're replacing a legend, if you will, everyone has that same expectation for you. But for me, fortunate enough, I worked for Coach, and I was here and understood how he ran his program, and obviously there was a lot of great things that happened because obviously of the success. But being here and being a part of it kind of gave me an inside look at how things were ran and what was great about it, certain things that I would like to change about it. But all in all, I think the mentorship and the ability to have the ability to make adjustments, seeing where some of the things that we could do better at, and obviously that's not much, because when you're in the championship program, there's not a lot of things to improve, but there are always things to improve. It doesn't matter what sport it is. So having that inside look at it, but also having the respect of how Coach set the program up and how we were able to win and what we were able to do to win, kind of gave me a format to kind of give me the idea of what I want to do with the program.
It's interesting because you have a legendary Hall of Fame head coach that wins 7 national championships, and you were here for all of them. As a leader, you got to do it your way too. Like you can't be somebody else. We don't always think about it that way. You just think, okay, this guy's out, the program's kind of set up, but no two people are exactly alike and lead the same way. So how was that for you as an adjustment, trying to do things that maybe he would, but also your flair?
Well, I just think that obviously Coach's personality is a little bit more even keel. Mine is a little different. I can be that way, but I'm more excitable, I would like to think anyway. So I just think that, and the kids know who I am, and they get who I am, and I'm very demanding. And I think Coach is demanding, but his demanding was in a different way. I mean, he was a little older, obviously a lot more polished, and had the understanding that they looked at him as like a granddad. We call him Silver Fox. Me, they looking like the crazy uncle, if you will. So I just think the perspective is different. I think there's a different level of energy that's there, but I think obviously the goal is the same. So how you get to that goal, and in the first team meeting, get to understand I'm not Coach, and Coach is not me. Obviously, he's done a fantastic job, and that's why we're here, and that's why this program is the way it is right now. But understand that there's a new leadership, and with that being said, we're going to do things a little differently. We don't have to remake anything or redo anything. We just has to enhance what we already have, and I think those kids bought into that, and obviously we're in a really good spot right now.
When you go into the environment, though, and it's on you to be the head coach, is there something about just making sure you get that monkey off your back? Like, I can win one?
Well, I think that obviously,
yeah,
you don't want to be the guy that don't win one. I mean, every head coach that's been at the University of Arkansas since Coach Mack has won a national title. So obviously in the back of your head, you're thinking, I don't want to be the guy to break that streak. And, inherently, I think that's my personal goal, but obviously the programmatic goal, the administration, that's what they want to see. That's what they're accustomed to. So we got to live up to that expectation. So, I mean, the monkey's off your back, if you will. We got one. But obviously, this program and this university looks for continued success year in and year out, and we've been a top 5, top 3 program for the last 10, 15 years, and that's the expectation in Arkansas.
Take us inside the strategy a little bit. Obviously, to win a national championship, you got to score the most points. But how do you go about that strategy? This year in particular, what you had and how you pulled it together.
Well, I think this team is unique from a lot of different teams that we had. Last year, we wasn't expected to win. Texas was ranked number 1 all year long. So we were kind of the underdog going into that meet. But this year, we've been ranked for the last 10 weeks, number 1. So everyone had the expectation that we win a national title. But I think what made this team different was, really we're talking about 5 or 6 girls, young ladies, and obviously there's other contributors, but a core group of young ladies that have had the experience. I mean, we had a transfer in Rachel Glenn, who was a national champion. So obviously she knew how to win. We have Amber Anning, Nikisha Price, and Rosie Effion. All 3 of these young ladies are medalists, okay, in the World Championships prior to. So we knew we had these young ladies who were uber talented, but obviously we got to get them to the line. We got to get them healthy. And then we knew we had a great chance to go 1, 2, 3. We was hoping to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously we had a freshman in that group, Kaden Brown. And obviously as a freshman coming in, and we had another young lady, Joanne Reed. These young ladies are just not there yet. Obviously they're talented, but it takes a little more than talent. It takes a little experience and more confidence to get to be in that position. But the top 3 girls, they were dialed in.
The 400?
In the 400. They were locked in. And I just told them, hey guys, we're gonna take the elephant out of the room. Our goal is to go 1, 2, 3. And they didn't blink. They understood the assignment. And sometimes when you say those type of things out loud, obviously it was something that was understood, but when you say it out loud, you kind of get to see where their mindset's at. And I said, in order to win, we have to get this done. If this doesn't get done, then we're not going to be in a position to win a national title. So, and then the strategy in the 200 was to get as many into the final as possible to block other teams from being able to score. We knew 30 minutes after the 400, it was going to be a huge feat to score a lot of points in that event. But if we could block some universities out, block some kids out from scoring, obviously we knew we could get, if we went 6, 7, 8, which we did, that's kind of what we predicted, understanding that it's only 30 minutes afterwards, we could get 5 or 6 points there, and that's gonna put us over the hump.
Inside look at how you kind of put it together based on what you have or don't have.
I think every team is based on what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Destiny Hooven and the 60 hurdles, that was a huge, competition for us. And the way she executed the race and got fourth, that was a huge 5 points for us, which was unexpected going into the meet. We knew she had that potential, but it was nothing guaranteed. So this young lady competed outside of herself. On that first day, the long jump with Nia Robinson, transfer from South Florida, being able to get 4th place, and I think she was ranked outside of the top 8, and she had 3 or 4 career best jumps at the meet, which, you can't predict that. The hugest task at hand was Rachel Glenn in the high jump. Obviously, she came in ranked 3rd. She just lost to the NC2A champ last year, indoors and outdoors. She just lost to her at the SEC meet. This young lady just cleared 2 meters at the SEC meet, and she jumped 194. And so coming in, this is a tall task, but we know the talent that she possesses. But her being able to execute on the day and be able to tie the collegiate record and clear 2 meters on the first jump to set us off on the second day, I knew it was after that, you kind of just know it's going to be your day.
Well, congratulations again on getting that first national title, and I know you're driving for more to come. What does Chris Johnson as a head coach look like?
Well, being a first-year head coach and new to this position, I think I look like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Being a head coach and wearing a lot of different hats as an administrator, as a coach of an event group, as the lead in the staff, daily, I think that's different. And being able to deal with the parents and all the things that you don't have to deal with as an assistant coach, you got to deal with as a head coach. So I wear a lot of different hats. So depending on the day, some days are, hey, fantastic, just good to go out and coach. But then other days, you got to do administrative work. You got to be able to go out and deal with the parents and NIL and all these different things. Get your staff and get them what they need so they can be successful. Training room stuff, just nutrition stuff, just a lot of different ancillary things that you need to do to be successful that wasn't there before. Now they're there now. And the responsibility lies on me. At the end of the day, everyone is coming to me and saying, hey, Coach, what do you got for me? Did you think about this? Did you do that? Did you sign this? So it's been an adjustment in that way, but I think obviously certain things you just don't know. You just got to learn on the job. And I think I'm right there, learning on the job, learning on the fly in some respects. But being here and not having to go to another school to be a head coach, I think has made the transition much easier.
What are a couple of key factors in being a successful track athlete, in your opinion?
The key factors, I think, is the mindset. Obviously, we recruit talent, and you know talent when you see it, and most coaches know talent when they see it. So being able to identify the talent, that's number one, and then being able to recruit the kid that has the right mindset, and that's really hard to determine. You just don't know what you're going to get. Because if I go out and ask a coach, tell me about your young lady, they're going to sing their praises, okay? And they work hard and they're confident they do that. Maybe within their environment they are. But what happens when you come to Arkansas and you're on the big stage, you're in the SEC, and we're vying for SEC titles as well as national titles, are you going to be that same person? And it takes a special kid to come here because the expectations are here. So when you're number one, there's nowhere to go but to stay number one. And it's easy to be the underdog. And we always talk about in practice, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's just kind of where we're at, you know? So understanding that and being able to walk into this environment and want to be a part of that, you got to really get the right kid from a talent perspective, but more importantly, from a mindset to be able to deal with the environment in the SEC and at the University of Arkansas with those expectations. We come outside and we see a flag that's hanging 50 now, which was 49 before, okay? It kind of gives you the clear goals of the program. And you see it every day, day in and day out, and then you walk into the indoor track, you got to pass by that 49, which will soon be a 50, day in, day out. You walk into our lobby of the Frank Amera, you see the same thing day in and day out. But I think we have the resources. We're grateful for the things that the university's done for track and field, which is next to done for most universities. So it tells you the level of importance that track is to this university and to the athletic department. So obviously, I think in essence, there's big shoes to fill year in and year out.
Give me a little more on mindset. Dig in on that. What kind of mindset? I mean, I know, you got to be tough, but like define it a little bit for us.
Well, mindset is really just the ability to lock in, okay? And what do we mean by lock in? You hear all these catchphrases and things like that. It's be able to lock in and block out distractions. So in track and field, you get one go at it. You get one run. You mess the run up, that's it. So it's not like basketball. You turn the ball over, you get another opportunity to get the ball back and make a correction. So this is an absolute sport. If you blink, you're gonna miss. So when we talk about mindset, we're also talking about a level of confidence that goes with that. And you're on an island by yourself, and are you gonna be able to survive? And that's really what it's really about. And if you don't have the right mindset and a level of maturity, then it's going to be very difficult because you get there. It's like when you get there, you're not going to think about all the things you did to get there. You're going to think about the things that you missed and the things you didn't do and the corners that you cut. So they got to be ever so mindful not to cut corners because they're not thinking about all the hard work they did to get there. They're thinking about the things that they may have missed or negated or didn't think was important. Now, when I have one run to make things happen, I got to be able to say, I'm ready to do that. And that's a mindset that's very, very hard to get to. And that's why we work so hard, not just from a physical mindset, not just from a physical standpoint, but a mental mindset. And try to create an environment that's stressful so that they understand how to deal with that level of stress and anxiety going into a track meet, especially the SEC meet. And I think we're fortunate enough to go through that gauntlet of the SEC meet. And so it somewhat prepares them for the NC2A meet. And so most of the time, we've seen our competition already. And then you add in a few other schools from other conferences. And now, it makes for even a tougher situation. So the mindset going in is that, hey, I am good enough, and that's an easy thing to say, but are you really good enough, and are you confident within that to say, have I done enough to get to this point?
Speaking of getting to this point, you joked about it taking you longer to become a head coach than to win a national championship. Tell me about your journey to becoming a head coach.
Well, I started here. Well, not quite started here. I started in high school. So fresh out of college, I coached high school for 3 years in Beaumont, Texas. Then I had an opportunity to come here as a graduate assistant. And then I was here for 2 years and garnered some experience and really not thinking that I would be a college coach. I came here to get a master's degree in sports administration or sports management, thinking that I would go back to high school and eventually be a high school AD. But as life happened, you get that coaching bug in you, and never really thinking that I could do it on this level, I was presented with the opportunity to do it. And then I got a job at Penn State, and Beth Alpha Sullivan hired me and gave me an opportunity. And we were successful there, but in terms of success, we were trophy team twice. But looking at the real picture, and Penn State was a great school, it was just that they wasn't going to put enough resources into being able to win. So I wanted to be able to win at the very highest of levels. And then I came back to Arkansas. And
so you were there for like 8 years, Penn State.
Yeah. And it was a great experience.
You came back here 2014?
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
So summer of 2012, I got back in August and kind of hit the ground running. So I was familiar with this environment. I was familiar with Lance and the way he did things. And it kind of gave me a reset, and now you're in the Big Ten, which is not the SEC. Obviously, the Big Ten has great athletes, but not as many. And now the SEC is the premier league, and can you get it done in the SEC? So that was a challenge within itself. And then once you get it done, if you will, can you continue to do it over and over and over again? So I always challenge myself. I want to be a little better than I was the last year. You got to be able to grow. You got to be able to get an understanding and adjust to the environment and the climate. And the climate has changed, and it's always changing, and it's evolving. And being able to be here and understand what winning looks like on the men's side as well as the women's side, and having great mentors along the way, and having, and God bless his soul, rest his soul, Coach Mack, having conversations with him about how he got things done, and then sitting with Lance and going to lunch and talking and conversing with Buck. And everybody's philosophy is different on winning and how to win and how to be successful, but also talking to other coaches within the league and within the conference, and that has done it. And so everybody is a little different, and the way they want to get things done is a little different. So you're just taking what you want out of the conversation and kind of collecting data to say, hey, if I ever get the opportunity, this is what I would like to do. So I think right now I'm implementing what Coach Johnson would like to do.
Let's touch on Coach Mack and Coach Harter for a second. Maybe a couple things that you learned from them. I mean, I'm sure there are many, but maybe a couple you just highlight for us.
For Coach Mack, I just think that he was always saying, hey, listen, racehorses are in this pasture and donkeys are in this pasture, and they don't mix. So the best advice he gave me is to make sure that you keep those separate, for a lack of a better term, okay? And hold those ones accountable and let them know what accountability looks like.
Don't treat everybody the same.
You can treat
elite,
everybody equal,
yeah,
but not the same.
Right.
If you're elite, you hold them to that elite status. You give them their goals and their expectations, and you make them clear and concise. That's what he was about. And obviously he was very successful during his time here. Coach is more about understanding who you're dealing with. What does this young lady need to be successful, and being able to do the things that they need to make them feel good, but also giving them the right amount of work that they can be successful. So he was able to get into their mental psyche, kind of find out what motivates them, and really wrap your hands around that and kind of drive the train from that way. So his interpersonal skills in dealing with the student athlete were phenomenal. And it's like he never met a stranger. It doesn't matter what event there was. He always had something wise to say, maybe to calm them down, maybe to get them excited. And there was a lot of one-liners. I mean, there's so many that you just can't even fathom. But he was like an encyclopedia for anything that you might need in the right moment. So I think from an interpersonal relationship with athletes, Coach was probably the best that I've ever been around and able to extract the greatness out of them. But Coach Mack, he was very determined on excellence, how you get to excellence, and the accountability of that. And just being able to sit down and talk with a legend like that, and being able to have Coach around and still around and being able to learn from these guys. These guys are, they're relics, I guess, if you will, in the sport of track and field.
Oh,
and and to be able to be connected with them, it's phenomenal, and get that knowledge. And I'm fortunate for that, because most coaches and/or athletes don't get to be around that.
At one point, maybe early on, were you working under Lonnie Green? Did you pick up some things from
yes,
him as well?
I did. That's where I started at.
Yeah.
I was actually working under Lonnie Green, and I think Lonnie is probably his best attribute, I think, is being a motivator. And he could motivate you to do a lot of different things, because he was just so excitable, and he'd get the kids to believing in whatever. So I think his greatest asset and what I got from him is that motivational piece, and how to motivate them, and what's the difference in this kid. And just creating a belief that they don't necessarily have in themselves, so that they could do anything. Obviously, you can see it in practice. You see that you have the talent, but getting them really to believe how good they are.
Did you think when you got to Arkansas as an assistant that you were going to be a head coach one day?
I thought I would be a head coach.
Was that your goal eventually?
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Not
necessarily
really,
here, or
not
maybe?
necessarily here. I mean, because that's kind of first getting here thinking, well, maybe I might have this program one day. I think that was kind of hard to see, at that point in time. But obviously, as we got better and better, and the program kind of excelled over and over again, you could see it, but you just never know, because you never know what administration wants to do and where they want to take the program. And most of the time, assistants don't get the program. They're going to go with a seasoned head coach, especially for a program and where this program is at. Would you take a chance on an assistant coach becoming a head coach, or would you go out and get a seasoned head coach to take over this program? So you just don't know. You would hope and wish and dream and pray for those things, but you don't know. So the opportunity presented itself, and obviously I took it.
Yeah, and took it well.
Yeah, so it's been good so far.
How do you think you made your reputation as an assistant? Like, what was your strengths? Where did you kind of make your mark? Was there a specialty, so to speak?
Well, I don't know that. I mean, everybody likes to put you in a box. Mm-hmm. I believe that I can coach it all. I mean, long jump, high jump, triple jump, 400, 200, multis, 800. I just think the versatility of what I've been able to do, it's made me dynamic enough to have an understanding of being just coach the athlete, not necessarily don't let coaches or people put you in a box because, oh, you coach the quarter mile because you have great quarter miles right now. You coach the 200 because you have great 200-meter runs now. You coach hurdles because you have great hurdlers right now. I think you coach the athlete to the very best of their ability and allow the athlete to blossom wherever their talents lie. And I think that's what I really want to be. I don't necessarily want to be labeled anything. I just want to be a coach and be able to do it all. And obviously, when you're not great at something, that's where you have your assistants and you have staffers to be able to help you get to where you need to be. So it's really, really not about me. I think being a head coach is having the ability to go hire people that are better than you and that people that complement you so that you can be able to accomplish your goal. And the goal is to win as a team, not be an individual.
There's a lot of leadership tips right there about hiring people and making the entire organization better. You've coached national champs, world record holders, Olympic gold medalists, won a national title as a head coach, but many as an assistant as well. How do you not be satisfied with that? And not all of Arkansas athletic programs have the problem of maintaining that national championship level every year. I mean, there's a lot of tradition here. How do you stay hungry? Like, you go fight to win, and then once you win, it's like, we got to go do it again.
Well, I think it's just to your point, it's the hunger. It's winning is contagious, and you want to win. And once you win, you say, man, I want to do that again. That feels great. Because I think that when you see kids and you realize that you're part of their success and you help them reach their potential, that's really something that you want to continue to do. So winning is just a byproduct of that. But being able for these athletes to realize their dreams and walk into those dreams, sign professional contracts, grow up and be productive citizens, that's the most important part. But I think winning teaches that. The sacrifice of doing whatever it takes to win teaches them that. And watching them accomplish their goals, whether that just be graduate, whether that's becoming an All-American, whether that's just to make an SEC final, I think that plays a part in it. So I think if the kids really understand what it's really about, then they're going to buy into you and they're going to invest into you. And for women, and I've coached men and women, I think once they trust you, they're going to be very loyal to you, and they're going to do whatever it takes that they feel like it's going to please you. And obviously, it's not about us as coaches. It's really about them accomplishing their goals and get them to be motivated and be able to continue to do that. And then the recruiting piece coming in, when those young ladies are telling the new young ladies, here's why I came to Arkansas, and here's what I got, and here's how much I've improved, and here's my life experiences. You're hungry for that, and you want to do that over and over and over again. And I think that the winning is just the culmination of all those things put together.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
All right, tell me about Chris Johnson's personal life a little bit. You're married?
Yes.
You met your wife here?
I'm married. I met my wife here. Well, I met her before here, but obviously the relationship grew when I got here. So, yeah, I've been married for 17 years.
And she ran here, right?
She ran here. She was an NC2A champion in the triple jump here.
Gigi?
Yes, Gigi, multiple-time All-American. So, I used to be Mr. Gigi for a long time. Oh, you're Gigi's husband. You're Gigi's husband. Now she's my wife. So it was just one of those things. They always kind of just say, oh, that's how I was kind of identified.
Yeah. You kind of had to pave your own way.
Yeah, so I had to kind of, after so long.
Dating, like, marrying a star.
Yeah.
The track athlete.
You're Chris. Oh, you're Chris Johnson.
Oh, so. Yeah. All right.
So, and so I don't really do much. Do
you guys work out together? Do you run together?
We used to.
That probably did it get embarrassing for you?
Nah,
could you hang in there?
No, she had a couple of knee surgeries, so she can't really deal with me right now.
Okay,
but,
all right.
Not much time to work out. We used to go walking, but we haven't done that for some time now. But the job is busy. But now that my brother's here, he's an avid cigar smoker.
He said he's better looking. Was that your brother we saw earlier? Or somebody came in here.
Yeah,
he said he's better looking at you too. What's his name?
He feels that way, and that's okay to feel that way. But no one thinks that but him.
Hey, man, you got to believe in yourself first. If nobody else is going to believe in you.
Absolutely. But yes, him being here, it's been a blessing to me and giving me the ability to have an outlet. To have somebody that I work with that obviously I trust. Obviously, I trust my whole staff, but just growing up, I've been knowing him my whole life. So what's
is he helping you on staff or anything, or is he just kind of?
He's one of the assistant coaches.
He's one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, and we like to say that we work together. So he doesn't work for me. None of my staff works for me. We work together to accomplish a common goal, and that's to make these athletes better. So that's just kind of who I am, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm Chris Johnson. I coach track, and track is always on my mind. We talk track at least 3 or 4 times a day. We'll go hang out, and we're gonna always go back to track. My wife ran track. My brother ran here, and then he coached track, and he's coached some Olympians and Olympic gold medalists and world record holders, and that's kind of just what we're really about.
Track family.
That's a track family.
Eat, breathe, sleep it.
Yep.
Do you have any other hobbies at all? Like, do anything you like? Or
not much. Not much. Just kind of hang out, relax.
Yeah.
I like to I like to work in my yard.
Yeah.
And I'm really particular about that.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time there, and I just think that just gives me an ability to just kind of get away. you know, and do something, and you look at it, and it's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And so it's a source of pride there. So I kind of like to do that, and like to go on trips and things when we have the chance. But obviously, past the collegiate season, I have some professional athletes, so we do a lot of traveling in the summer with them, and being able to go to some of those meets and those Diamond League meets and those things doesn't allow a lot of time for anything else.
You're all up in it, man.
Yeah.
Just getting started.
Yeah, just getting started. This year's been fantastic, but obviously we have another outdoor season. We're embarking on outdoor season, and then obviously this is an Olympic year, so now we got to be able to get those young ladies ready for the Olympics in their respective countries. And the trials, I mean, if you think NC2As is a hectic meet, just think about the Olympic trials for every country, especially U.S., when these kids are under an extreme amount of pressure, and you have to be top 3 to make the team. And so now they went through the gauntlet of indoors, they went through the gauntlet of outdoors, and now they got to go through another gauntlet and finish in the top 3 in America or their respective country to make the Olympic team, and also have the standard there. So there's a lot of stress and pressure on them, which also it puts us on us. And, you know, we understand what stress is, and we understand how to deal with it, and we got the resources for that. But still, that's their goal, and you want to see these kids have the best opportunity possible to reach those goals. So there's a lot of planning that goes into that. So I guess in the free time, we're doing a lot of planning to get them ready to be able to do what they need to do for the university, but also get them ready for, you know, postseason stuff, Olympic Games, World Champs, so forth and so on.
Well, congratulations, Coach, on all the success you've had really throughout your career, not just as a head coach, but off to a great start. And let me ask you, if you were to step back and think about it for a second, whenever your time here is up, how do you hope Razorback fans and the organization will think of Chris Johnson? Well,
I like them to think that, you know what, he was a tireless worker. He worked his butt off with a lot of great pride in Razorback Nation, and having just to understand that this is a life work. This is a dedication to the student athletes, but also the University of Arkansas and the athletic department. If I can walk away with just that, and obviously a winning coach, I think that would be nothing short of phenomenal.